All right, this is the issue, and I'm the Ghettoman. I'm going to be a little bit off topic today. Usually I'm talking about, constitutional law, courtroom procedure, and American history. But today I'm going to talk about type 2 diabetes. Why? Because I was diagnosed with it last year, April 20th, 420. Interesting number. But I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. My blood sugar was at 384. My cholesterol, overall cholesterol, was at 235. My LDL was at 225. They want your overall cholesterol to be under 200. That's what they're looking for. And they want your LDL to be under 100. But I was at 225 with the LDL and 235 overall. Not good, according to them. My blood sugar at 384 gave me an A1C at 13.6. And 7 below is where they want you. I'm at a 13.6. So there's no question, according to their diagnosis, that I had type 2 diabetes. I was told by the nurse practitioner that type 2 diabetes is a progressive disease. It's not going to get any better. It just gets worse. As time goes on, it's going to get worse. I want you to know that. That's what they told me. I want you to know that. You're not going to get better. You need medication, and you need that medication for the rest of your life. That's quite a heavy thing to hear. So I went down to the pharmacy. I picked up my metformin. This time they wanted me to take a tablet a day. And at that very moment, I looked at my wife and I said, I'm done. I'm done with sugar. No more sugar for this point forward. I mean, none. I'm not going to take any. And I also found out that things like potatoes and bread, pasta, and things like that they turn to sugar very rapidly. So I quit them as well. No bread, none of the stuff. Everybody says, how do you do that? Well, when you're diagnosed with something that you know is going to progress, it's going to get worse. That means it's going to become type 1 one day. And then you got to start dealing with things like your fingers falling off and your hands being falling off and your legs and your feet. I don't want that. I kind of like those things. I like my legs, I like my feet, I like my hands. But anyway, I quit sugar and I quit everything. And I took my medication, and I've always worked out, so I worked out, and the business that I'm in is very active. I climb ladders and I'm on roofs and stuff all the time. So I'm a very active person. So about a week later, after taking this metformin for once a day, my blood sugar goes from 384, and within a week, man, we're back down to normal levels according to the, taking my blood and checking it every day, 2 hours after the meals, and I'm saying to myself, well, what's causing my blood sugar to go down? The medication, or the fact that I quit sugar? When somebody says you got too much sugar in your blood, well, the first thing that thinks to me, well, then maybe I better get rid of the sugar because I must be doing too much of it. And, of course, when I came home and started looking at all the labels of the things I was eating and started to see what I was eating, no wonder my blood sugar was high. Because we consume sugar, at least I was consuming sugar all the time. So I started thinking to myself, if I were living out in the woods somewhere and I had to grow my own food, hunt my food, fish, whatever it was to eat, the one thing that I would never find is a Reese's peanut butter cup growing on some bush. It's just not going to happen. All this stuff that we eat, none of it would be there if we had to eat directly from the source, the earth, the ground. We wouldn't have that sugar. Things would turn to sugar, but that sugar would be, your body would utilize it properly. So I said, the one thing that the doctor didn't ever suggest to me is, well, why don't we try a diet first and see whether or not your blood sugar comes down with that? And if it doesn't, then we'll talk about the medication. Nope. Straight on the medication. So what I did is I got off of it. And I started doing some research on various different diets. And I read a lot of medical journals, not just stuff that you find on the internet. Somebody's like what I'm doing right here, just telling you a story, not this kind of stuff, but actually looking into the science of type 2 diabetes. And what I was finding is that more and more doctors are saying it's not a progressive disease. It's a diet disease. It's a diet disease. Look around. Every commercial on TV is always about type 2 diabetes, some kind of medication for this. So I went on a high-fat, low-carb diet and still do my workouts, still do my things. And my blood sugar dropped down, stayed right there normal. No medication. I thought that was pretty interesting because I was told that type 2 diabetes is a progressive disease. It's going to get worse. Well, I found out it is a progressive disease, but the disease isn't going to get worse because you got off sugar. It's going to get worse because you're taking the medication. And what people do, they take the medication. Why? They take it so that they can still eat their cake and candy and everything else, and their blood sugar numbers look pretty good. But all the metformin does, from what I've read, is it just shoves the sugar in some other organ of the body. Not good. Not good at all. So, and eventually what happens, you have to increase the dosage, 2 tablets a day and so on, until finally you got to go to insulin, you got type 1 diabetes, and now you're in real trouble because your system's shot, and it's shot because of one thing and one thing only. You didn't get rid of the sugar. Sugar's poison. There should be a skull and, the crossbones on every package of sugar. It's poison. Pure, unadulterated poison. It's going to kill you. So, I went ahead and got off the sugar, and I kept monitoring my blood. 6 months later, on the October 6th of 2017, I get my blood tested. And what happens is I find out that my A1C, instead of being 13.6, is now 6.3. They want me to be below 7. 6.3, that's below 7. That's normal. My cholesterol went from a overall cholesterol, like I said, 235, and it went down to 194. Okay, 194 is what? That's under 200. That's good. I looked at my LDL, it was at 225. It's down to 129. They want me under 100, but I'm coming down. Okay, I just had my blood tested again on August 6th of this year. My overall cholesterol went to 175, still below 200. And my LDL went to 62, well below 100, as they suggest. And my A1C, where did it do? Didn't move, still 6.3. Now, I was told type 2 diabetes is a progressive disease. It's going to get worse. Okay, I was diagnosed with A1C at 13.6. I got off the sugar completely, no medication, and now I'm a 6.3. Now, where I come from, that's called getting better. Not getting worse. It's not progressively getting worse. If I'm doing anything progressively, I'm getting better. Now, there were some other factors in there, too. I started to take some supplements. There were supplements that I've been taking for years, which that helped, but I started taking other supplements as well. But one thing I wanted to say is, here's another thing that happened. When I got off the sugar, between the period of that 6-month period there, between 4/20 and 10/6 of 2017, I also lost 35 pounds. And I didn't even try. And I'm telling you, I'm eating fat, I'm eating butter, I'm eating everything I want except sugar and potatoes and those things I told you. I mean, there's so much to eat that they're not even a drop in the bucket of the things that I can eat and are good things to eat. I'm eating like a horse, no sugar. I dropped 35 pounds. I go from 195 pounds and I go down to 160. And I don't even watch my calories. I just eat what I want, when I want, out of the categories, and no sugar. My weight hasn't fluctuated. I can go in there right now, step on the scales, I'll be 160. 158, 162, you're going to have a little water gain as you're doing this, but that's what you're going to have. 160. Okay, another thing. My energy level, through the roof. Okay, along with this, I take some supplements. And what I do take is I take a liquid complete multiple vitamin. It's put out by a company called Liquid Health. And I'm not trying to sell anything, just what I do. This thing has everything. It's made out of 4 different types of kelp. It has every trace mineral, metal, everything that your body needs daily. It's a food. It's not really a vitamin extract. It's made out of kelp. It's a food. Your body just is getting a food that has everything you have in it. So if you're not getting into the food you're eating, this is going to give you everything you need. And then I use some calcium because I'm getting older, and I take calcium from my bones, and liquid calcium from Liquid Health. And then I take a combination glucosamine, chondroitin liquid glucosamine, and they're all liquid, so they're really highly absorbable. You take them and they go right into your system. Then I started using stuff from Infowars.com. I bought some stuff called DNA Force. Things started happening. I have 2 bad hips and a bad back. Well, let's put it this way. I used to have 2 bad hips and a bad back. They're getting better now. They're getting better. I started taking the BioPQQ, which I get from Infowars when I can afford it. They have a formula that's very good, but it's really expensive. So I buy when this is not on sale, I buy the BioPQQ from Puritan Pride. I buy they're just the PQQ. The DNA Force has other things in it as well. I'm not going to get into that right now. But I buy the BioPQQ 20 milligram capsules, and I take 2 of those a day. And what the BioPQQ does is it takes the mitochondria. I hope I'm saying that right. Mitochondria is your cells need energy, and the mitochondria is what gives your energy cells, which in turn gives you energy. Okay, and it also is protective of your DNA. It helps preserve the telomeres on your DNA from deteriorating as rapidly as they would in the environment that we're living in. It kind of slows down the aging process. Okay, a lot of clinical studies on this. You can look them up for yourself. There's the double-blind test with the placebos and all that. This stuff has been thoroughly tested and it works. Okay, if you really want to get your energy level up and you really want to start feeling better, I mean, the BioPQQ, the one thing I notice immediately with it is the energy and also the attitude change. I feel good. I'm excited about life. I want to reinvent myself. I'm 67 years old and I don't want to retire. I want to keep on going. I want to do something new and exciting. And I feel like doing that. And I have the energy to do that. Then I also take another supplement that's called hyaluronic acid. And hyaluronic acid, from what I understand, and I'm just a novice. You people are going to have to research yourself. Our body doesn't produce it anymore, and it's used to lubricate joints. So when you get all stiff and you can't move your joints, it's because that lubrication is not there. And I take this hyaluronic acid, and I take it daily. Take it twice a day. I think they're 100 milligram capsules. I buy it from Puritan Pride. And I tell you, it really helps with the pain. Now, the BioPQQ is also an anti-inflammatory, so that helps keep the inflammation down. And then I use a product from Infowars called Body Ease. It's a turmeric product, and it's got black pepper oil and a whole bunch of other things. But it helps you absorb it, and it's a very potent turmeric. And turmeric is turning out to be a really, really important part of people's lives because it gets the inflation down. It gets rid of the pain. I don't take any pain capsules. 2 bad hips. In fact, they were going to replace my hip in February. But my A1C was so high, not February. Yeah, February they replaced it. But the doctor said that my A1C was so high that he said it couldn't operate. I said, well, look at my records, doc. I says I'm not there anymore. I'm where the normal is now. And he looked at his computer and he says, by God, you are. I says, I quit sugar. And I said, as soon as I quit sugar, everything went back to normal. I didn't have to have a pill make it go normal. My body went normal because the poison was removed. And so the doctor says, well, you're a pretty active guy. He says, well, I put a hip in you. And I mean, when I went to see him just before before he was going to set up my appointment for surgery, I was in a wheelchair last December. It was so much pain I couldn't even walk. So he said, you're an active guy. He says, well, the problem we have here is that we put a hip in you, and you'll wear it out in 3 years. And he says the second time we have to put a hip in, he says it's not good. You don't want to go there. He says you want to do this once in a lifetime if you're going to do it at all. And I kind of like the hardware that I was given when I was born. I'd like to keep that hardware. I mean, I've been hard on it, but I still would like to keep it. So they put me through physical therapy for about 6 weeks. And I started taking all these supplements, taking the DNA Force and the BioPQQ, the Turmeric, and the hyaluronic acid, and then all my supplements, and still staying active. And I got a little better. And then the doctor said, went in to see just before surgery. It was that week before surgery. I was having a cup of coffee, and I knew I had to go to the doctor's, but I was thinking to myself, I've been getting better all along. I'm up walking again. I'm out of that wheelchair. I feel improvement all the time. I says, to myself, I think I'd like to postpone this. But I didn't say this. I was thinking this, and I didn't even tell my wife. We went to the doctor, and he came in and he looked at me. He says, well, what's your pain level? I says, if I'm sitting, sleeping, driving, no pain level. If I walk, I can walk, but that's when I feel pain, is when I step down on the hip. And he says, well, I'd like to postpone this. And it was almost a sigh of relief for me, because I thought before I left the house, I said, I would like to postpone this. So I concurred with him. I said, yeah, well, let's postpone and see what happens. And he said, man, if you're not like at a 7 or 8 level all the time, he says, we got to hold this off. So we held it off. So in the meantime, I went back to physical therapy, did some more physical therapy, and things started getting a little better. Okay, now, here it is, it's October of 2018. I'm back working. I'm climbing ladders. I'm up on the roofs. Back in the gym working out. I have a little discomfort when I walk. As I'm sitting here talking to you, no pain at all. I don't feel it at all. In fact, I feel like I can just get up and go, but if I get up too quick, I remember a little bit. But I'm getting better. I'm feeling both of my hips are getting better. My back is getting better. I'm moving better. My attitude is so positive, it's through the roof. It's even scary. It's like, I feel like I can, jump a building in a single bound, or be faster than a speeding bullet. I'm 67, and I'm saying, baby, get out of my way. I'm going for it. I'm getting better. Now, all these supplements, I'm sure, have had a lot of help, and I really lean on that BioPQQ, because something is happening there that I can't explain. But I'm telling you, I'm getting better. But I contribute all this happening to me to one factor, and one factor only, and that's getting rid of the sugar out of my life. I just don't understand why anybody with type 2 diabetes would not get away from sugar. Because if you could feel the way I feel at my age, you wouldn't want sugar. And it's so stupid, because the sugar's poison. It's going to kill you. The medication doesn't do anything to help. It hides the sugar someplace else in some other organs in your body. And then when it stops working there, all they do is increase the dose. Until finally, you're a type 1 diabetes. And what's going to happen is you're going to eventually lose a limb. I mean, I know people losing toes, fingers, because one thing. They won't give up the sugar. Someone said, I'm not giving up my sugar. I got to have my sugar. Because if I don't have my sugar, I'm not a happy camper, and I take the medication, I'm fine. No, you're not. You're a ticking time bomb for type 1 diabetes. Now, I wanted to share this with you because I really find this to be a really important subject, because I've experienced it. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and you're looking at a man that doesn't have diabetes. My medical records tell me that I do not have diabetes. And it's funny, every time I get these letters back from the doctor, they have little positive notes. Oh my God, you're doing great. Everything you're doing is good, and just keep on taking your medication. I told you I'm not taking it at all. And they don't listen. And I'm telling you right now, you get off sugar, and what these doctors and nurses and people are telling you, that it's a progressive disease, at least for me, that's not true. The only thing I've done is progress back to normal. No disease at all. You're looking at a man that does not have type 2 diabetes. Now, I just wanted to go ahead and share this video with you because, I don't know, I've been excited. I talk to people all the time about it because I just can't. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. It's a miracle that I was smart enough to get off sugar. That's the miracle. I even had a nurse practitioner at my last visit say, I've been telling, what you're telling me, I tell my patients all the time. I tell everything that you said, I tell them to do, and they won't do it. Would you come, could you come sometime and talk to these people? He said, I would really like that to happen. Well, I'll probably never do that, but I can sit down in front of a camera here and share my experience with people, because I'm telling you, you have no idea how good you're going to feel. Depression has left my life. It's almost like I can't be depressed. Even if I try to think the worst thing, we'll get through it. We're going to find a way. We're good. Sugar is just deadly. It does so much to you. It makes you depressed. You have no energy. And if you do have energy, it's just for a moment, and then you get the crash and you need more sugar again. And it's just tearing your body apart. It's tearing you apart. It's going to kill you. It's just going to eat you from the inside out. So for any of you that are interested, there's my story. And thank you for watching. I'm the Ghettoman. This is the issue, special issue on type 2 diabetes. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and please share. Have a good day.